Hello everyone, it's Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Hope everyone is doing okay this evening. I always have to think in my head, do a conversion. Yeah, hope everyone is doing good. I've had a few good shows, so let's keep this going. First of all, if you guys enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support the patron. And as my wife says, even $1 helps. Still, there's that. This story is going to be relatively short because there's not much to say about this story, but I found this story interesting. I believe it was in the Washington Post, if I'm not mistaken, where democracy dies in the darkness, in the Washington Post. I read that what Donald Trump did, it might have been in the New York Times, it might have been one or the other, that Donald Trump's geopolitical strategy here hasn't been all that bad. This idea that he's putting sanctions on Iran and there hasn't been a spike in oil prices and all this other stuff. That paper misses something that's rather overt and rather straightforward. He's pushing other countries away, and he's pushing them away in a way where they're cobbling together without America. And we're stuck with an apartheid state, Israel, that is an open-air ghetto, and Saudi Arabia that chops off heads and hands. That's not necessarily the best of company to be in, and yet that seems to be the company that Donald Trump is perfectly okay with keeping. One of the other shoes to drop here has to do with Turkey. Now, a while ago, I made this case. I said I couldn't determine if anything hopped off where Turkey would be. Turkey was a NATO nation, so it just seems like they were at odds in multiple points. Recently, those points became more strident when the interest rates went up and Donald Trump started to, he didn't call them sanctions, but for all intents and purposes, they were sanctions by putting tariffs on certain goods of Turkey's in response to Turkey getting Russian weapons. Here's another shoe to drop. Donald Trump is implementing these sanctions. Essentially, the boy that took his ball. I'm not going to say that because if the verse was said, I would be like, what the fuck? But a child who took his ball and went home. I mean, in my head, the analogy is, well, if you're not going to play with, if you're going to do what I want you guys to do, if you're not going to play, 21 jump, whatever, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home, sir. Every other country around the world that was a signatory to the Iran nuclear deal stayed on that deal. Trump walked. You don't get to change terms when everybody else stuck with the deal. Meaning one individual that's a part of the deal is not going to be the determining factor or whether or not those things get changed or not, especially when there are multiple signatories to the deal. Donald Trump implemented sanctions again. And there's another set of sanctions that are supposed to take place in November. Those are supposed to hit oil. Now, if I'm not mistaken, oil. Turkey was asked, what are you going to do? You're a NATO nation. You're an ally of the United States. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the largest military in NATO with the exception of the United States. What are you going to do? Turkey responded. Listen to what they said. And their response is what they should respond. Turkey will not join U.S. sanctions against Iran, said the foreign minister. Ankara will not uphold Washington sanctions against Tehran and will continue its trade with the Middle Eastern country. Foreign Minister Mevlut, Kavusoglu told Sputnik, God, I'm sorry, dude. I did not mean to butcher your name, but that name is that is a prodigious name. That is a formidable name. We will not support any sanctions. Yes, of course, we will continue to trade with Iran, with Russia, and others. Turkey is a sovereign, independent country. If this is the UN sanctions, we would join. Otherwise, we don't. Kavusoglu said, when asked if Turkey planned to join the United States restrictions targeting Iranian oil sector. The foreign minister remarks follow President Erdogan telling Reuters earlier on Wednesday that Turkey will continue to purchase natural gas from Iran despite U.S. sanctions. Now, the United States came out with a policy saying that they were going to take Iranian oil sanctions down to zero. China Russia, and Turkey, pretty big nations, have all said, go kick rocks. Europe has joined hands, and to the degree that they can protect their companies, those companies are private individuals, they can do whatever they want. And many of them said, screw that, we need the United States market, in which case they stuck with the US market. But these other countries around the world, left to their own devices, particularly the governments, joined hands and said, kick rocks. Europe even went so far as to try to create this little background payment system to keep Iran in the deal. How successful that would be remains to be seen, but it is a clear indication that the other countries around the world are isolating the United States on this particular point and have gone about their way. This is getting testy. I mean, there's other stuff that's taking place, especially with China and some of the other things. But I gotta be honest, I like this. I like this. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. The empire is crumbling. Europe is laughing at us. Europe is laughing at us. Europe is laughing at us. All right, I'm gonna end this. I will see you guys shortly. Patron appreciation is going to be at 5 Eastern. I want to start that a little bit early, so I am going to say it is going to start immediately after the next video because it is midnight here and I am dead tired. So yeah, I'll see you guys shortly. Thanks, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and support the Patreon. Thanks all.